chase knowledge, and Matrix Fall is my YouTube.
I saw that
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
Is that what you said? You said,
yeah,
did I did. It was really cool.
yeah,
Yeah, I like, I'm very creative too. So I like to
yeah,
see that
yeah.
creativity.
Appreciate it. Yeah. What's
Uh,
your YouTube? I thought I had it on here. Let me see.
Plane astrology.
Plane astrology. Okay, not planet astrology. Plane astrology.
No, as in airplane, plane of consciousness, plane of
Yeah.
existence.
Okay. Okay. So how did you get into this information? You were born kind of like out there, or did something happen and you got into this information?
Well, I'm from New Orleans
Mm,
originally, so I'm sure
hmm
that has a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
yeah,
it's a strange place.
it
So,
is.
and I'm seventh generation.
Oh
So,
wow, been there for a while.
my lineage is here. And so I did have a very unique family,
Mm,
ancestors, and actually, as a matter of fact, when I was a kid, my grandfather, who had founded the Institute of Hypnosis,
mm,
we used to do things when I was a kid, like light as a feather and telepathy games and things like that.
mm,
So this was like normal. It's been a very interesting upbringing. I will say that.
hmm
So I'm sure that's influenced on some level. I mean, yeah, a lot in
Yeah.
my family are creative. They're artists, or and my grandfather was a painter,
Mm,
and a jazz musician, and he founded the Institute of Hypnosis. So
wow.
it's yeah, in my family, and there was a couple of clairvoyants, psychics, and just things like that. And also as a teenager, I had a lot of experiences with astral projection as a teenager.
Mm,
So I'm
mm,
sure that that also has influenced as
mm,
far as how I am, who I am now. Now, the past year, year and a half, I've had a lot of like really explosive experiences as far as cosmic messages,
really.
really, really vivid dreams, like lucid dreams, all
Mm,
kinds of strange experiences. I always have like loud ringing in my head, and I'll get bangs in my head, like just abrupt banging and all
wow.
sorts of and they call it exploding head. But I mean, I just, and this has been in my family too, odd, I've heard over the years. So, I mean, maybe genetics plays a role. I don't
Wow.
know, but things have changed so much. I mean,
Yeah.
it's always been in my life, but the last couple of years have been lots and lots of downloads or messages, I would say.
Mm. So you think it's kind of ramped up within the last few months, few years?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
The astral
Absolutely.
projections.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially in the dream world. And I
Dream
know
world. Yeah.
that's one of the things we've talked about in emails.
Yeah.
And yeah, the dreaming, it's as if I'm on it's parallel realities, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I kind of explained this before. When we dream, I think we all astral project.
I do too. I do
Yeah,
too.
every
I do
single one of
too.
us. Yeah, and we don't remember our dreams. I think because maybe there's some sort of technology, or maybe there's something they input or if they say our DNA has been messed with, so we don't have the spiritual connection that we used to in the past. Along with the fact that there's chemicals in our food and air, and they kind of dumb us down, numb the pineal gland, makes it a little bit harder to access that. Um, what is your take on that? Do you think we probably more spiritual in the past than we are now? A lot of people speculate that
I feel like right now is a major, and
shift.
maybe it's mostly my perspective, but a major uplifting or elevation. Like I feel like there's a big movement.
Yeah.
I I I also feel like this experience we're having here, which I invert the word life to file to mean file,
Mm,
File, like a file-based experience,
mm,
meaning that not that you're just a file, but you're the experiences, because it's a scripted matrix
mm,
system. So having said that, as far as like dreaming and then astral projection, I think that we
mm,
leave. Do I think that someone is or something is altering? I mean, to a certain degree, I do, but my answer may be a little different from others that you talk to, and that
Hmm.
I believe a lot of it is an extension of ourselves, of consciousness.
Okay.
And I think it's really hard having this experience for a human to grasp, like to fathom that, I would never do this. But
Right.
that's not it. It's just that it's a part of you that's outside of this system, like that's on a different frequency. I
Hmm.
feel like, and that we're connected to that.
Hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Kind of like you. I see we're like we're all connected to one source, right?
Well, those of us that have a soul. I
Yes. Okay.
mean, you do believe that there are backdrop or NPCs, maybe, do you?
Yeah, my philosophy is and on that is a little bit different. I do believe that, but I also believe I think maybe there's a philosophy in the spiritual community that some souls are older souls and more connected to the astral, and there's
I
other
believe,
souls that
yes,
are yeah they're
I agree with
younger,
that. I
and the
agree.
younger
Yes.
souls the younger souls may imitate the NPC life more so
Well, you
than
know
those
what?
connected. Hmm.
Well, the thing is I think that the ones that are the newer souls, that are like the newer generations, I believe that they are part of the system. In other words, they it's like this is their world, this is their
Hmm.
dimension, and we
Right.
are visiting it. And we have come, we have ancient, which I call ancestors, not ancestors, ancestors, like you and I
Hmm.
talked about, possibly Lyria, right?
Right. Lyra.
Lyra.
Hmm.
So we have these ancestors, and here we are in this dimension, in this plane of existence. Now, the NPCs, the ones that we were, or some, I would call them automons sometimes. They're kind of robotic. They lack
Hmm.
emotion.
Yeah.
They don't have this old soul feeling. They kind of, they
Hmm.
really blend in this matrix very well.
Hmm.
This is like their home in a
Right.
way.
A lot of
Whereas,
those, a lot of those people work at airports for some reason.
yeah, that's probably, that's very
A lot of
true.
weirdos, yeah, robots almost, you know.
Yeah, well, as a flight attendant, yeah, I think I told you I'm a private flight attendant for many
Yeah.
years. So I can't argue that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the thing is, and they would do airport jobs. They would do
Mm,
jobs like the custom, maybe basic customer service jobs or
yeah.
coffee shops, or you know very not requiring, just basic skills,
Hmm.
which that's no offense to them. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
they can't do, great things. I'm just
Mm,
saying that they fit in here more and they feel more a part of this system than we do.
yeah. 100%. Yep. 100%. And I do think it's interesting. Like, my mother had spiritual gifts. She was a clairvoyant, and I always tell her she could have explored that, but she didn't want to. She wanted to, just kind of, be successful, comfortable person in this reality. And that's nothing wrong with that. I like to go down these rabbit holes and these tunnels, clearly a whole lot more. But I don't have the gifts that she has. She has dreams, and something in the future would happen, and it kind of runs on that side of my family. Like her mother and father both had these gifts, and I'm more interested, although I don't have the gifts that they have. But I think maybe they're coming back at this time. I hear about now with this time of transition, gifts in dreams and who we were in past life. The older souls are now remembering who they are. These gifts are coming back: clairvoyant, telekinesis, various psychic capabilities. You can feel the energies on people. If someone's having a good day or a bad day. Um, One of the questions I had: you subscribe to the flat Earth?
I subscribe to door number three. And for me, that means not flat or round, but it means, which I believe most things in this scripted matrix are behind door number three. So for me, I believe it's a plane of existence.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is we're having an experience and as consciousness. And it means that we're not really in a place.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's hard for some people to like understand or grasp, but if I
Mm.
had to choose one, there's no question I would choose flat.
Okay.
Um, if I had to choose one, but I don't I don't subscribe to either one totally in
Okay.
that I feel really strongly that it's just a plane of consciousness. And
Right,
then you go into, well, is there a real Earth or, that's up for debate.
right.
So, and I
The
would say
reason.
one other thing about your mother real quick is
Mhm.
that is where I'm at this point where I didn't want to totally attach onto the word clairvoyant, but now I really feel because there has something so powerful in me, something so moving,
Mm.
dreams, visions, all sorts of thoughts. Just I write in notebooks like I'm channeling. It's like
Yeah.
I have notebooks just filled where I run out of paper.
That's very interesting. And I know you put your in the website you gave me. You do a lot of writing. You put it in the on the website. That was New Orleans, and I think it was
Ah,
yeah,
my art. Yeah, I had a
hmm
gallery in the French. I'm an artist too.
art gallery too. Yes, right. Yeah.
Yes,
hmm
yes. So
hmm
I'm really, really creative. And I actually think that the opening up the portals of creativity, the doors, windows, portals will actually help enhance clairvoyant abilities. It will help the
Yeah,
supernatural, help you, it'll help attract. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think that's a new perspective. What you just told me right there. That's interesting. The more creative we are, the more we can access other realities and dimensions. I think
Oh,
artists, yeah,
absolutely.
as we draw. Now, the crazy thing is today, a lot of artists are using or utilizing AI, and we can get into that. When we are doing drawing, writing, yeah, we are channeling other, maybe our higher self, because we talked about we live in other realities, and that's well, that's
Yes,
another
yes,
conversation because time doesn't exist. Time is secular; it's not linear, which means
yes,
we
yes,
exist.
right,
Yes,
exactly,
we
exactly.
we
Yes,
exist in parallel realities, dimensions.
yes,
And when we dream, we can access these parts of us as
yes,
well. Mm.
yes. Portals,
And
right. We're here,
portals,
we're entering portals. Yes,
portals, right?
right.
And so it became clear to me. I've been down the rabbit hole since 2012. I woke up. I mean, I have had various spiritual awakenings my whole life, but I didn't really get deep into it in 2012. I was in my early 30s, so it's kind of late, but kind of early. Looking at things now, and I realized I haven't been creative my whole life since I was a kid. I
Hmm.
just started getting back into being an artist, creating something, trying to, like you said, on my channel, trying to be creative, something new. And I realized, they don't want us to be creative because they don't want us to access these other channels, these other realities that we live in.
Exactly.
They want to keep us in a
Exactly.
box, keep us in a box. So we're
That's
limited.
right.
Yeah, so we're limited. We can't access these realities.
Hmm.
And and one thing interesting, I listen to some of the flat earthers. I don't pay too much attention to them because they're the flat earthers that don't believe in space. We're literally in like a prison. And so that's one of the questions I had you, but it made sense what you said. If you're a flat earther, then how would you believe in astrology? But you don't necessarily believe the earth is flat like the flat earthers because they're more materialistic. When
I can answer.
actually
Yeah.
everything is more energy, frequency, and vibration, not materialistic, not flat or round. It's a lot more. But go ahead. What you about to say?
Okay. I might ask you because you got that strong New York accent. So I might now New Orleans people have that too. They talk
Yeah,
real fast too, but
yeah.
so I might say just I might have to slow down just a little. So
Okay.
so that so okay, so now
Mm,
when I first got into the zodiac and astrology, I was leaning toward the flat earth theory.
mm,
Now, how could a flat earther believe in the zodiac? Well, absolutely they can. It makes the mo actually flat earther believing in the zodiac makes much more sense than a round earther. And
mm,
I'll tell you why. Because if you are of the belief that we are on a spinning rock and there are other rocks spinning billions of miles away, which is
mm,
absolutely ridiculous, how on earth could, no pun intended, could that ever affect you? It can never affect you because they're too far. That doesn't make sense. And you're like, well,
mhm,
and I have seven chakras and then I my brain is Mars and my neck is Taurus and my shoulders are Gemini. None of this, like in the Da Vinci painting. I mean, you can
mhm,
find all of this through art. So anyway, the correlation between the human, the avatar, and the sky, um, makes more sense from a flat earth perspective
mhm,
because And flat Earth not meaning like a pancake spinning in the sky, but it just means different realms that are flat. It's a,
Yeah.
so that makes more sense to me. And then that also going along with that, people would say that these luminaries, which I call them luminaries, and then they're the seven luminaries, and then there's the which are they are the wandering stars because
Mm,
they move and the fixed stars don't. And so the thing is if you were to believe in flat Earth, it does make more sense because they're very close to you. Because you have to throw out all that nonsense with NASA and the distance
yeah.
of these celestial bodies. That makes no sense.
Mm,
So flat Earth makes much more sense when we talk about the zodiac being a spinning wheel. Like you can't see it, it's a clock. I mean, the zodiac is a clock.
right.
And
Right.
each 2 hours of Horus, if you invert the word Horus, is hours, and that's the sun who rules the zodiac. My sun sign and your sun sign is the lion, right? The sun.
Mm,
So anyway, what I'm saying is the it lines up a lot with flat Earth. It makes the most sense because I
mm,
also believe that it should be inner space and not outer space. And this came to me really strong one night a while back that it was inner space. In other words, what we perceive, which is decoded by the brain and limited to the five senses, what we perceive to be the sky is not as vast as we think it is. It's perception
mm,
rather than something like physical matter.
mm,
So we have all these encoding mechanisms inside, deep inside the brain, which correlate directly to the constellations. Like I told you about Coma Berenices, and then there's Orion, and these you can find the fornax, and we have
mm,
inside of our brain a fornix.
mhm.
And then we have the same in the sky in the constellation.
Right. Mm,
So I'm saying that we are the microcosm of the macrocosm,
mhm.
and these, if we were to believe in what NASA says,
Yeah.
and hey, if you do, that's okay too, because I think actually for some, I understand. I don't judge anyone
Right.
for no way. I mean, I get it. So that's the thing is it really does make sense from my perspective,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what you thought.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why we're having this conversation. Just getting ahead in on how our reality, what our reality is. I no, with my partners, we do podcasts with Blue Collar Conspiracy Podcast. We go out every now and then to look at the stars. Expensive telescope, so we can see, we can see the moon, we can see Mars and Jupiter. I've only been out there a few times. He's been out there for years, going back and forth. And he's witnessed and seen UFOs, and I've actually seen something too out there a few times. I've seen some looks like craft. So my perspective is, I mean, I don't know, but and I don't know what you feel about life on other worlds, and if there is UFO contact, but I mean, the information coming out now is just so much. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying, yeah, aliens are demons. That's a big one in some sectors. I think if they are traveling that distance to get here, they will be traveling through space and time, which means they're traveling outside of our matrix, the way we know it and the way science says, the way NASA are all wrong. You can break space and time, like when we sleep in astral travel. Um, what also means is, are they good or are they bad? Some say, according to what we're saying, if they are visiting Earth, they're probably bad because they're more material. If they're good, they don't visit us. They channel, they visit us in dreams, or maybe the balls of light that we see out there are actually positive ETs, or maybe angels, or maybe both, something, a mixture of both. Because we are our spirits and we live physical lives. I believe that higher angelic souls can live physical lives as well if they want to. But yeah, the nature of life on other worlds and the nature of possibly them visiting us. We got the Epstein files that have come out, and they were talking about it in the Epstein files, and the nature of good and evil. I know a lot of people don't go into all that. What do you think about that life on other worlds? You believe you? I mean, obviously, I think you said you do believe in that, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But do you think they can travel, or do they only they travel more energetically? Like he said, inner space. It's
I,
something.
I do.
Hmm,
I believe that we can travel there through consciousness.
consciousness.
I,
Okay.
I believe, and that just means your electric energy being can travel time. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that we have the ability, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
So we
I
can.
believe that it's not, I think it's inhibited, and
Mm-hmm.
I believe we have to activate it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do believe, but I believe that those that are seeing UFOs,
Mm-hmm.
or having experiences of abductions,
Mm-hmm.
from my perspective, I believe that it's really happening on their frequency. It's kind of like, think of it like a television, like changing the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So like let's say an NPC or an Ottoman, or a newer soul, if you will, can only go to channel 13 on a television. Well, the ones that are actually seeing UFOs, or having experiences of abductions, they're on channel 14 or
Right.
50.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it actually does because I mean I'm a deep researcher to the aliens, UFOs, abduction stuff about, and that goes into the conspiracy stuff I'm kind of into. A lot of people say, well, if you focus on the spiritual, you should be focused on that because that kind of confuses things.
Wait,
But
okay, wait, say
yeah,
that because you know that New York accent.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Say that one more time, please.
Yeah, I was saying a lot of people who say focus on the spiritual, you shouldn't focus too much on the conspiracy because, but I do because I want to see where the manipulation comes from and why we think this way when the truth is actually on the other side that way.
Well,
What are they hiding from us? But before that,
yeah.
let me see. I was going to say when people are most people, and I've looked into the abductions for years thing, when most people I do realize who are abducted are people that already have this sort of spiritual connection. They'll say, oh yeah, the military abducts me because they want to know why I'm being abducted by these ETs. Then they say, well, I also have dreams where I'm communicating with these advanced spiritual extraterrestrials from the Pleiades or Andromeda, and they're telling me about spiritual evolution and what's going to happen to Earth in the near future. And they've been right when what they were saying like 20 years ago. They've been saying, and they go to astrology and the equinox and how time actually works, the Mayan calendar, the movement and rotation of our world, rotation around various other stars, kind of that kind of stuff. And yeah, it talks about how humanity is evolving into another form. And they were right years ago, but they have also been saying, yeah, they had contact with negative ETs, they've had contact with the military industrial complex, and they've had contact with positive ETs. So I think you're right. You are right. There are people that are more open and can have contact with other realities and other experiences, and they're the ones seem to be the ones that are almost always being abducted, if you will.
Right.
By who? By who? I don't know. But you go ahead.
But I think that for those people who are just the wide array of things that are happening, whether it's downloads, whether it's messages, whether it's abductions. And it's interesting that it's always at night too.
Right.
And I mean, for me, most of my messages, I mean, I'll receive them during the day, but it's a lot of times at night. And that's why I said I've had to fill up notebooks because there is no other way to store. They're just so unusual,
Right.
and there. I wanted to record it, so that's why I started the channel that I have.
Yes.
That's why I started writing everything, and I had a strong message about the Zodiac. I feel like the Zodiac is an implement,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it's a part of this construct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, everyone should, I mean, you can only benefit from learning your angles. And I say they're not angels, they're angles because
Mm-hmm.
there are angles in the sky patterns. There are angles. They create angles, they create patterns. And just as well, we are a series of angles and patterns. And even, on your zodiac, your birthday, which by the way, I did look at yours and
Mm-hmm.
you're Capricorn ascending, but you probably know that, I guess, right?
I think I did see that. So I don't know what that means, but I did see. Well, I'm a Leo, but in Capricorn, something like that.
Ascending. You're
Capricorn ascendant.
ascendant. So what that means is
Mm.
that when the sun was rising in Capricorn when you were born.
Ah, okay.
And I am Aquarius.
Mm.
So we are both on our ascendants, we're ruled by Saturn. So
Mm,
for
okay.
me, what is Saturn? It's not a planet with rings like the way, not like that,
Hmm.
but it does have to do with the ring, but it's an outer ring In our reality, there are rings above us, and it's the Lord of the Rings, essentially.
You're right.
You know.
That's right. And they say doesn't Saturn have something to do with the moon? Like they call it the moon matrix,
Oh,
which maybe was
yeah, I think I've heard of that, the Saturn
yeah,
Moon
Saturn
matrix.
moon
Well,
matrix. Yeah, like
what,
it builds our physical reality. It makes us less spiritually connected. Those are some of the rumors. David Icke, he goes into that. Yeah.
but you know what makes you more spiritually activated
Mm,
is the sun. And I think people like myself and like you, when we have such a strong, I mean, the sun rules the zodiac, and
hmm
he only has, I mean, that's the house, that's he rules Leo, right? We are
hmm
Leo, and
Right.
he is the ruler of the house of Leo. When you've got a strong sun sign, you are going to, in my opinion, you are going to feel more consciousness. You are going to have more interesting, you're going to be more directed towards the unusual, the more interesting
hmm
experiences, whether it's aliens or clairvoyance or whatever, you know. I mean, this is the
Interesting.
only house that the sun rules is Leo. That's amazing.
That's interesting. I one time when I was living up north, I was going for a walk. It was a
Hmm.
nice day out, sun was out, and it was the wildest feeling. I've never had it before. I'm trying to. I think maybe I do every now and then, but as I was walking, the sun was out shining bright, and it felt like it was communicating with me. Very hard to
Yes.
explain.
I
Very hard to
know. No,
explain.
I communicated
Yeah,
with the sun. I communicated with the sun today. Oh,
yeah,
today has been wonderful because it's the spring equinox. No,
but it
I
wasn't like yeah,
communicate. I talk to the sun.
but it felt like it was doing something to my body too. Like it was making my body
Yes,
feel a certain type of way. It was very interesting. I enjoyed it,
but I
even though it was only for 20 minutes. Yeah,
no, but I'm doing it all the
yeah,
time, and
yeah.
you should
Interesting.
embrace that and engage that even more because the
Yes.
sun is your consciousness. It is. Now sometimes I mix this up, but I wait. It's the left. Wait, the right hemisphere, I always get them backwards. One is the moon and the other is the sun.
Mhm.
And what they want to do with calcification and with altering the brain, um, they want to inhibit more the side ruled by the sun. Did you know
Mm.
that?
It want us to be more connected to the sun?
They
Is
want
that
you less connected
lessons?
to the
Oh yeah,
sun.
yeah. That's why they spray the skies so we could they dim it. So yeah, we don't have yeah,
Right. So,
yeah.
so hold on. I'm plugging in. I'm listening to you. Okay, you keep talking because I'm plugging in my charger.
Okay. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah. Looks like we only got a few more minutes. It's like we're going to record for an
Because
hour,
time
but
is going by
it's
so
time.
fast, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I have one more question. That's a little bit different from what we were saying. Back to dreams. I had an astral projection. I really we astral project all the time, but I know I was astral projecting and I forgot what I was experiencing because I know when I came back into my body,
Uh-huh.
something came in and wanted me to forget what I experienced. And I knew it was some sort of technology. And
Oh,
I
you told
really,
me
really,
that in an email.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And I
Yes.
think this happens to everybody. We astral project, but I do believe, and this is kind of the dark side of it, that whoever is running the planet has this sort of technology up where some of us, or what it does is sort of block us from experiencing the astral projection. And I think it may be connected to the many people would say, as well as David Icke, he kind of made it famous, the prison planet concept, reincarnation grid. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we've been. We think we're just these people, these in this world. So then we forget who we are. We don't know who we are. We die and we reincarnate, come back because we are attached to this reality, thinking it's the only reality we're in. Now, I'm not saying it happened to us or me or you, but we do know, like, people who reincarnate over and over again, they're more attached to this reality. And they don't know who necessarily who they are, but they believe everything they're told by the authorities. And like I said, the best slave is those who don't believe they're enslaved. And so they don't know, so they reincarnate over and over again. And I think maybe that has something to do with it. They wipe the mind so we don't know. All we know is this physical reality. We go to sleep, we dream, we astral project and we go to actual reality, but they kind of take that away from us, which is sort of technology, making us believe we had a dream we were at work. We had a dream we were, taking care of our kids. Something in the matrix, as opposed to we were actually in a more expanded reality talking to our ancestors, our past loved ones, talking to extraterrestrials, different, all this kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go in that real quick. That's what I think. I know you may have a different perspective on that, but I think maybe there's something there. I witnessed that. I witnessed hey, they put something in front of my head, so I don't remember what I just experienced. At least in that way. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think, well, there's three. Okay, so part of my channel, one of
Mm,
the things and how I started was decoding language.
mm,
I started seeing language inverted a few years ago, and I would see a word and I would immediately invert it, and I realized that it meant something else. For example, I've done videos. Reincarnation is really re-in-arc. Asian. And what is re and arc? Arc is electricity, it's an energy. And we are electrical beings. We are arced into here, right? And then you're talking about visiting other worlds.
yeah.
And I agree with all of this.
Mm,
And so we are these energy-based electric beings, in these
yes.
avatars. And it's like I kind of said to you before, it's not our original home.
Mm,
And I always say that home is really Om, okay? Like OM, Om,
mm,
as in like coma bernices. Like Om is really is another place that we do visit in dreams. That is our original place, and yes, I mean it's not here.
yeah.
It's not here. And do we visit these other locations in our sleep? Yes. And is it possible that because we have perpetual amnesia, right? We have
Hmm.
amnesia all the time.
Mm,
And especially with our dreams. I mean, what I mean, I remember mine pretty well.
hmm.
I know you said you don't, but it's
Yeah.
like what is there a type and oh, the other word was technology, which I call the conology, because it's a con.
Mm.
Because
Yeah, it is. It's an
it's a
imitation.
con.
It's an imitation of what we can already do.
And it right and it's an absolute con to convince us
Convinced.
that
Yeah.
this is something being slowly released, like it's all new and all.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of deception.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie there. I don't to say as much on my channel about the prison only because I think that limits us. I mean, is it a type of slavery? Are we, is there a slave system here? Absolutely. I mean,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
we can't deny that.
The
You
slave
can't
system.
deny
Yep.
that.
Working on
So,
the grind every single day. Yep.
yeah, we're all
Subject to that to a certain degree. Yeah.
living this, right? So the
Hmm.
thing but what is it that there is something going on absolutely with dreams and like with
Yeah.
me getting these cosmic downloads and messages and I'm advancing and where is it all coming from at the end of the day? Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Where's
Right.
it
Right.
all coming from?
Yeah. Before my grandmother passed, she says, "I'm waiting for the good Lord to go on and take me home." So I think there's this inner
But see,
knowing that
that's
the
she's
astral
right.
realm, yeah,
She's
there's
right.
this inner knowing that the astral realm, the spirit realm, is our home. And this place is we're just passing through. You know.
Well, let me tell you what I say, and I've said this before. One of the first messages I had was it's not astrology, it's astrology.
Hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's astral because
Hmm.
you are in a layer of the astral. Like, I mean, we're living out a real existence, but if you believe that you've ever died before, which I think you have, you think you
Hmm.
believe that you're an old soul, you've died before, right?
Yes. Hmm.
So, could you not say then that you're in a layer of the astral, having a
Yeah.
human experience
Absolutely.
limited to the five senses? However, you're just having an experience, but there's a part of you that is
Advanced.
outside of here, and that part of you may be trying to reach you in your dreams, and something is blocking it.
Right.
Does
Absolutely.
that
I
make
agree.
sense?
Yeah. 'Cause I've had dreams. I was in higher planes of existence. I've had
Yes.
dreams. Where I was in communicating with beings from other worlds. Absolutely. And then I wake up and don't remember anything. Sometimes like I
And
had a dream.
it's so frustrating. I mean,
Hmm.
I do remember the thing is
Hmm.
that I can tell you that I'll tell you this right now. Now, I don't have abduction dreams, but I have dreams where they're not like human, but they are human. I mean, they're similar to humans, and I know them so well. and I
That's
have
fascinating.
never met them in this life.
Very interesting. Very
Now, would
interesting.
you maybe we could say those are related because I say we have ancestors, right? Not
Yeah.
ancestors,
Yeah.
ancestors. So
Yeah.
we have family, right, from the
Hmm.
constellations, right?
Right. Right.
So we could theoretically we could say that those that are in our dreams showing up, we have a